Welcome everyone to Breakthrough Leadership, and I'm Matt DeYoung.
I'm Greg Yates.
And here we are in Season 1, Episode 7 of Breakthrough Leadership video blog here, otherwise known as vlogs. And today's title is, Are Mission Statements Dead? I know there's some people out there who are saying, I wish they would die, because I went through that process and we made a mission statement, and then, well, that's what we're going to talk about.
That's right.
So, it's you, Greg, you put it into one sentence. If you don't, what's that if that you always say about mission?
You don't have a mission, you don't have a business.
Now that seems very, very bold of you to say, but there's a reason, because you're saying that mission statements aren't just a piece of paper, but what are they?
Well, I guess you could draw a distinction between a mission statement and an actual mission.
Yeah.
Because having a mission statement doesn't necessarily mean you have a mission, or that you've defined your mission, or that your mission is alive. It doesn't mean any of that. I've seen too many applications, Matt, where people who said they had a mission statement had to go look it up for me.
Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever, you've, in your career, which spans now over 30 years as a business owner and leader, have you ever just said, I'm going to ask as many people as I can, do you know your mission? And could they answer?
Oh yeah, I used to make a game out of that, Matt. It was so funny to me because it was like a sense of sarcasm that I say, well, so what's your mission? I particularly like doing this in places where I'm the customer.
Yeah.
You see, because if I don't understand the mission of the people I'm doing business with, how am I supposed to know what I can expect from them? What's their commitment to me? But I'll have to say to you, Matt, only one time have I ever had somebody immediately explain to me what their mission was. It's kind of embarrassing. There's a lot of questions like that exist out there, and you kind of learn when you're dealing with business people how to ask the questions nobody knows how to answer. Start asking that question, you're going to find it to be interesting. But this particular vendor, so to speak, of mine, immediately walked me to the common corridor in their business and showed me on the wall their mission statement, and then how it applied to their customers and their employees. It was fabulous. I knew immediately what their mission was for me, and I found out later that everything they did had to be compared to that mission statement if it was going to become a decision of that company. You think that company was successful?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. And so what we're saying here is, if you kind of get out of the corporate world, get out of your leadership position and put yourself in the customer's shoes, which we all are at one time or another, you can feel the mission. Is it true or not? You can see the mission. Is it true or not? And that's the experience you had. It's kind of ironic, because the one time you said, oh, I think I can see the mission happening here. You said, oh no, we made the sign. It's in the hallway. Everybody knows it by heart. We make all our decisions based on it.
But it's rare. It's rare too, Matt, and there's reasons for that. What are they? There's got to be some specific things that make a business statement alive. The question was, is our mission statements dead? I think by and large they're dead or dying. The question is why, and what do we do to make them alive?
Well, in order to make them alive, we're going to have some must-haves, some things that must be true. And so let's just do 3 today in our vlog. And so one of the things that we talked about earlier is that mission statements must be worn but not filed. What does that mean?
Yeah. If people are going to know when I walk in the door what my mission is, I better be wearing it. It's got to exude from me. I think of people wearing a certain uniform, Matt. They show up in that uniform. You know why they're there. Right. You know why they're there. You know what to expect from them, even if they haven't told you. I think about things like, when they talk about the people like in the Hebrew times in the Bible, and they wore the scripture right on their forehead. People saw that on there. They knew what that was. They knew the intent there. They were displaying like a badge of honor the mission that they were on. Right. I think it's important that everybody in every business who's on a mission finds a way to wear that mission, not to put it in a filing cabinet somewhere.
Yeah, that's really going to make your mission alive. So that's one must be about your mission. The second must be about your mission is that it has to be alive or in perpetual motion. What do we mean by that?
Yeah. Well, how do you know if something's alive, right? It's because it's actually moving, it's breathing, it's dynamic, it's changing, it's evolving, it's becoming. That's how we know somebody's alive. You know, you come over, even to tell the difference between if they're sleeping, if they're dead, you know, they got to be able to fog a mirror or something, right? I mean, it's got to be something like that. If your mission statement is not alive, then it's not a mission statement, or it's a dead mission statement, obviously. It needs to be in perpetual motion, not past tense. It can't be an assignment that has to be completed. I've seen this before. I've done this before. Led businesses through a retreat or a weekend, help them to prime and establish their core mission statement, only to find out that a year later it was in a file somewhere because, hey, we completed that mission. Yeah. We fulfilled our assignment, and now it's done. It's in the past. It's dead.
Yeah. So it has to be alive. And what we don't mean is necessarily that you're rewriting it all the time, but you should see that it's in motion. You should see that it's really working. So the one was it has to be worn, not filed, and the second was it has to be alive. And the third must be about mission statements is they have to be instinctive. What do we mean by that?
Yeah, it's got to be part of your DNA. This has to be something that's reflex action when things occur. And that only happens through repetition, through practice, you know, through intentionality. Everybody loves that word these days. You know, if you lose consciousness, you keep breathing, right? Yeah. You don't have to think about it, you just keep breathing. There's certain things that occur in you that reach a level where you can do them instinctively. You know, I think about vocal singing is one of my big things. You know, you learned it. Yes, you had to learn it. You had to go through the process. But once you've learned it, it's like riding a bike, right? You're able to go do it because it's become reflexive. If your mission statement is not instinctive, then it's not a mission statement. It's not alive.
Yeah, so you're really painting this picture that there's three things that mission statements must have. They have to be worn, they have to be alive, and they have to be instinctive. And some of the things that you're asserting here, Greg, is that mission statements aren't static. They don't just exist on a piece of paper, but actually they create some skills. They create some tangible things that you can see in the world and not just abstract notions of what we might do.
Yeah, this list could be a lot longer, couldn't it?
It absolutely could. Yeah. But for today, we'll stick to the three must-haves about missions. And we hope that this helps you create a mission that truly is alive in your business. Thanks for joining me, Matt DeYoung, and Greg Yates at Breakthrough Leadership. And we'll see you in the next video.